Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B Man, and I am back. Welcoming you to Kung Fu Film Focus for this Thursday, August 1st, 2024. And this evening, we will be discussing another classic from the genre from Golden Harvest Studios. A little Kung Fu film joint from 1974 called The Tournament. Yeah. The Tournament is a film produced by Raymond Chow that was in the midst of a small wave of martial arts films that were focused on Thai boxing, fighting styles from the Thai boxers coming out of Thailand around the early 70s. It was something that was being explored cinematically as they were looking for more types of fighting styles to incorporate into martial art films that were now moving away from so many sword films that pretty much dominated the late 50s and throughout the 60s. With Jimmy Wong Yu's 1970 epic, The Chinese Boxer, which really kicked off the hand-to-hand combat films. Plenty of martial art films would follow through where they were moving away from swords, knives, axes, spears, and focusing more on the true martial arts. Various styles, Hung Gar, Wing Chun, the animal styles that were introduced by Pops Lau Kar Long from the Shaw Brothers Studios. And then the focus would even go further into Shaolin Temple styles, the 18 Lohan Fist styles, all kinds of martial arts. But Thai boxing, I would say from 1971 through 1975 or 76, you saw a lot of Hong Kong films that would feature stories that were based out of Thailand which gave them an excuse to have Thai fighters on screen. So the tournament explored that as well. And it is centered around a very interesting story, though not fully fleshed out, but it involves a martial arts school in Hong Kong where one of the students went to Thailand to participate in a Thai boxing tournament for money. He needed money. We'll get into why, but in Hong Kong and in China, martial arts studios, dojos, they have a certain curriculum that they follow. And a lot of it is based and centered around an association, which is like a board that oversees most of the various sects of martial arts. And they kind of govern them. They have rules that you should follow. If you don't follow them, you lose face, and it's disrespectful, and you can be excavated from the community. So this story actually followed that, where this student of a particular martial arts school, he needed money in the most urgent of manners because he worked at a restaurant and some triads taking over the restaurant's economics, bullying them for money. They kidnapped his sister, and he was speaking to one of his customer friends about the possibility of going to Thailand to participate in martial arts tournament there where they have Thai boxing. And he felt like he wasn't good enough, but his friend was pushing it on him while he was dining in the restaurant. But when the triads showed up, they made a threat to put he and his boss out of business with their little storefront restaurant, and they took his sister as a hostage for down payment for monies owed. And when he went back to his school, he sought out permission from his sifu to go to Thailand to participate in this tournament because he needed the money. But he really didn't tell his sifu why the money was needed. He just said he had an urgent family matter. Maybe had he disclosed to his sifu what was really going on, things could have looked a little bit different for him. And the story kind of begins there. Now, this film, The Tournament, which features Angela Mao Ying, who is really in the midst of her prime with this film with Golden Harvest Studios. She had a great cameo in Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee's film from 1973, where she played Bruce Lee's sister, who was harassed by the villainous Han's henchmen when they left their junk to go to the island, and they tried to assault her, which led to her fighting for her life and then eventually deleting her own life rather than let them take advantage of her. And Lee sought revenge during his quest to visit Han's Island when he found out that the man responsible for her demise, his sister's demise, was, there, and he would have to face him. But Angela Mao had that great outing. She had other films that were outstanding with Golden Harvest. She had starred in the Blade Spares None, films like Hapkido and Lady Whirlwind, and also When Taekwondo Strikes. So this was during her particular heyday, and she was a big star. Now in this film, she plays the daughter and also sister of the student in the film who wanted to go to Thailand. That student that wanted to go to Thailand was played by Yang Wei. And if you've watched any of Angela Miles' films, Yang Wei happened to be a co-star in a number of her films, whether he was playing a bad guy or a good guy, a student that was alongside of her, or one who was a part of a faction that she fought against. Also in this film, joining Angela are familiar faces, Carter Wong and Sammo Hung. Interestingly, in this film, Sammo is not playing a sidekick of hers, but actually he's playing one of the other Sifus from the Martial Arts Association, and we'll get into that association and what they meant here in this particular film. Now, her Sifu is played by Ko Shang-ting. Ko Shang-ting is a veteran Hong Kong actor. He usually plays an elder, an old master, or old grandpa in some of the early 70s kung fu films. And in this film, he played the senior Sifu at the school where they practice their martial arts. Carter Wong plays her brother in this film as part of the Kung Fu Dojo. Not her blood brother, but she, Carter Wong, and Yang Wei are all students of Ko Shang-ting. And when Yang Wei wants to go to Thailand, they have a sit down to discuss, and the senior Sifu was like, you can't go there. We don't represent the community like that. We will have to take it to the association to make sure that they verify that we can do this. And he was telling his Sifu that, Sifu, I don't want to get your school in trouble. Can I resign from your school and still go? Because he's trying to save his sister. This film was directed by Wong Feng, who was really the main overseer over Angela Miles' career during this time. He directed a number of her films, and he was a pretty good director with Golden Harvest Studios. He shot action very well. His camera tracked the action very well. Wong Fei never got credit like he should have. Like the director Lo Wei, who was a little bit more well known with his name, but Lo Wei's films weren't as good as Wong Fei's films. And as I said, this film production was put together by Raymond Chow, of course, and you know, for his association with Bruce Lee, having been the man who gave Bruce Lee his shot in Hong Kong cinema as an adult, because Bruce Lee was a child star in Hong Kong. So he had made over 18 films, you know, in Hong Kong as a kid, where they called him and referred to him as Lei Siu Long, the little dragon. So when he came back in the early 70s looking for work in Hong Kong in the film industry, Raymond Chow was the one that gave him the opportunity, even though Lee had sought out Shaw Brothers Studios and they denied him flat out. So that's what Raymond Chow was basically famous for, as well as being the #1 rival to Shaw Brothers Studios with his Golden Harvest Productions. He had a very good run early on, around the time he rediscovered Lee, and he had Angela Mao, Sammo Hung, Carter Wong. This was like a nucleus of young stars that he was starting out that were going to rival what was happening over at Shaw Brothers. Because, around this time, Shaw Brothers, even though Jimmy Wong Yu had moved on due to a lawsuit and dispute with Run Run Shaw, there were other young actors and actresses up and coming, such as Tai Lung and David Chang, Ching Lee, and Ching Quan Tai, and several others, even Fu Xing. So what Raymond Chow was establishing was a good counterpoint to what Shaw Brothers Studios was doing. And these films, like the Thai films, Shaw Brothers had their own films as well. They had films like Duel of Fists and The Angry Guest, which was a follow-up to Duel of Fists, where it was a Thai-based story and action. And there were a few others. There was a real interest in Thai culture and the martial arts during this time. So it wasn't weird. It's something like right now, how in American culture we have these films like these television series with the dragons and the Living Dead and all of that, how popular that is, and they keep making spinoffs. This is kind of how that was for those kind of films over there during that era. A great deal of novelty here because it was new. Even if you look at this poster art here, where you could see Angela Mao, she's got on boxing gloves, shorts, and she's got bare stocking feet and socks where she's fighting. It's an image from the movie that's depicted in poster art. But again, Thai boxing was so popular at the time. I can't even express the differences. Maybe how MMA is in America right now or internationally. This is kind of how that was. The action choreography in this film was brought to us by Sammo Hung and also Chan Chuan. Chan Chuan is a veteran martial artist slash actor slash stuntman that you may have seen in numerous films. A lot of times he'd be playing a bad guy or an extra or just another one of the guys that's during a fight scene, he's getting dusted up. But he was a man who could help choreograph action and stunts, and he was imported over from Shaw Brothers Studios. So he was a popular guy to help behind the scenes. And Sammo was very young at the time, but his approach to choreography was fresh. And having been trained by the old master Yuen, who ran the Seven Little Fortunes, which saw he, Jackie Chan, and Yuen Biao, and so many other who later become stuntmen and action stars in Hong Kong, Sammo was a little bit different as a choreographer because he would do things like go and study the art that would be depicted in the film that he is choreographing. And he would return after studying the art and teach the stars that are co-starring in the film what he learned. Sometimes they would leave as a team and go and learn the arts and come back and perform for the studio's productions. It was an interesting way of doing things because veteran choreographers like Han Yun Kit, who had been there for like Bruce Lee's Big Boss and Fist of Fury, and films like Come Drink With Me with Shaw Brothers. He was an old operatic choreographer and also star. And though he was a bit elder, he used a lot of the traditional methods. And Sammo was bringing more gymnastics and more forms of martial arts, realistic forms. So there was an advancement going on here. And in this film, once again, his choreography for Angela Mao was spot on. He and Chan Chun. Angela Mao in this film is performing some acrobatics that you may not have seen her do before. A lot of times she may have been doubled by stuntmen who were doing her acrobatics for her, but because she had an opera background, she did know how to do stunts. And she may not have done a lot of excessive acrobatics, but the simple flip-flops and no hand tumbling and somersaults, she could do all of that. And in this film, she's using her styles of stretching with one leg and holding her leg up like John Liu, and she's standing on the piles. You know, they have the stake piles that stick in the ground that the fighters learn to fight on, like you've seen what's his name, Feng Si-yu do Alexander Fuxing in some of the Shaw Brothers movies. She was doing that in this film, and it's really her in those sequences where she's doing that type of action. And Sammo was always able to choreograph her to make her look very effective with her action and make her look powerful. That was one of his gifts in knowing how to choreograph certain individuals and give them the best look for how they could appear on screen and on film, to make them look powerful, to make them look dynamic. Sammo was really well versed in doing that. So he did a great deal of that for Angela Mao and always made her look number one. I appreciate everybody out there. Please smash the like button as you come into the building. We got a new person here in the chat. Ali Fuller came in and said, "Let me just say this. I like your channel and I love Kung Fu movies and boxing. I love both of the combat sports." Appreciate you stopping in, Ali Fuller. Welcome. Shogun 76 is in the building saying, "Salute to the Kung Fu family." And Soul Power Gamed Up Kennels is back saying, "Blessings family. Smash the like button, good peoples." Yeah. You know, when we talk about these Kung Fu films, man, it's easy just to say, "Oh, I like this guy because these fight scenes or whatever." But when you learn more about them and who helped create them and what the nature and purpose was behind that creativity, it's always very impressive upon reflection. Again, because these films were imported in the U.S. during, I think, the first Kung Fu film craze was in 1972, I believe, in America. And it went to like 1975. And then it kicked in again in overdrive around 1975-76, and the second wave went through to the early 80s. But a lot of it, when it began to fall off, was because when Bruce Lee passed away, American studios, the eye that they had for these films kind of drifted off, because they like, okay, the guy who was the main man from that genre, he's no longer around, so nobody's going to be interested in these films. But what nobody really realized is that martial art films, because martial arts has such a rich history and tradition, that there would be numerous, almost innumerable stories that could be told by the studios. And so America didn't pick up on it again until the early 80s, when the ninja craze kicked in, because they thought that that was something new. Also, that they could hire some of these Asian action stars, put them in a ninja costume, even though they might have a Caucasian or a Western actor playing the lead in the film. But when he goes to put his ninja mask on, now you've got an Asian in the ninja getup doing all the action. Yeah, it was that type of party, people. Yes, it was. So, back to the tournament. When Yang Wei goes to Thailand along with Carter Wong, his brother from the school, he participates in the tournament, and he is beaten badly and dies from his injuries. Carter Wong, who participated in the tournament, is beaten badly as well, and he returns home, and much to the disgrace of their dojo, because he and his brother lost and his brother passed, their senior Sifu caught a lot of flack from the association. They told him they didn't authorize him to go and represent, and he made all of their Chinese kung fu schools lose face, and they began to turn their back on him. They frowned upon him. They unsubscribed from his enrollment, and they just overall put him in a point of depression, to the point where he lost face and he ends up deleting himself. Now, he was Angela Mao's dad in the film, so when he deleted himself, of course, she really wanted to find a way to avenge her father's disgrace. And there are other co-stars in this film that you'll recognize from Golden Harvest. Guys like Wong and Sik and Chu Mu, who plays the triad at the beginning of the film, who kidnaps Yang Wei's sister. There's also Lee Kwan, who has a small role in the film, where he's playing a Thai who gambles at the fights. He's sitting in the arena always betting on the fights. Peter Chan Long, who worked with Sammo and Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee for a long time with Golden Harvest Studios, he's in this film. And also Chan Woo Nai. Chan Woo Nai is a guy who worked with Bruce and Jackie for a long time, and Sammo, and was a staple with Golden Harvest Studios from the mid-70s on to the late 70s. These guys formed a stunt team that were very active, and they produced great action during that era. The association, being so disrespectful to Angela Mao's family and their dojo, they basically wanted to kick her out of their association. And she told them that, they deserve to be a part of associations just like everyone else, even though they lost that match in Thailand, that they still had done a lot for the community and everything. So they come to challenge her. And basically they're saying, if we challenge you and we defeat you, then you guys got to close your school. Now, you see how the Chinese are. They're warring factions amongst themselves, just like some other people we know in real life. But instead of supporting and showing, they disgraced her family, and her father ends up, like I said, he deletes himself. That leads to Sammo Hung, who is one of the leaders of one of the other association dojos, he wants to challenge her. And she takes on their challenges. They come to her school disrespectfully, telling her, we're going to, challenge you and this and that. And Carter Wong, who's still nursing his injuries from being beaten up in Thailand, he's like ready to fight alongside of her. But she's like, no, brother, you sit this out. I got this. Man, she smokes all of those guys. Angela Mao, she was the greatest at that time doing her thing. Samo, Wilson Tong, and a few of the others. She goes through these guys. She kicks their butts and sends them packing from her school. And now they lost face because they issued the mandate to challenge her, right? And then they come over there and they can't even hang with her. So, next thing you know, she sends them on their way packing with bandages and everything all up their behinds. But she wasn't pleased with simply that. She wanted to go to Thailand and study some Thai boxing to learn about the art, learn about why it was so formidable against their kung fu. So she and Carter, they set out to go to Thailand for a while. They leave the school behind, but they didn't close the school, but they left the school behind so they could go study. And they go over there in Thailand and they stay for a while. They knew someone over there, so that person introduced them to the Thai gyms, and they started, learning the art and started participating in tournaments and stuff over there where they took their lumps here and there as well. And in the meantime, while they were over in Thailand, word had got out about the disgrace of their school, and that brings out some thugs who decide they're going to come in and take over their dojo. So there's another story going on here. Although Yang Wei, who died originally trying to save his sister, Lord knows what happened to the sister, because the plot element there on that story was never revisited in the film. That's why I said initially there were problems with this film and how, the story was written. It could have been much better if they had returned to like what happened to the sister. Did they save her? Did she die or whatever? But they just kind of like went on about the story like they forgot that part was part of the plot, right? So again, this is like, but the film wasn't about that as much as it was about these fighters learning the martial arts and abilities so that they could come back and do their family justice by reinstituting their dojo. Now, also as a great bit of trivia, this film, like I said, was shot probably in late '74, but it premiered in Hong Kong in it was shot in late '73, I meant to say, pardon me. And it premiered in Hong Kong in 1974. Now, premiering in '74, in September of '74, it ran from the 28th of September to the 4th of October, and it brought in Hong Kong 455,000. So it didn't break 1 million, but it was a lucrative kung fu film for someone that it was like Angela Mao heading the film up. It wasn't one of the Shaw stars like David Chang or Tai Lung, or even one of Golden Harvest's top male stars. So that's still a pretty good buck for Angela, for her sake. Once she gets to be adept at fighting with the Thai style, she and Carter return back to Hong Kong, and their school, and that's when they find that Wong and Sik and one of his cohorts have taken over their dojo, and she's got to throw them out. And they don't cooperate easily. They're like, hey, you guys were gone. We thought you had run away like you should have, and we're taking over this spot. So, of course, fights ensue. That's what we're here for, right? And once again, Angela Mao kicks their butt, man. Especially after she learned some of that Thai boxing too. That coupled on top of her kung fu, which was already pretty top notch, man, she beats the crap out of these guys and sends them packing. And the film pretty much wraps up with that at the end, because they spend that time in Thailand learning how to fight Thai boxing and everything. That takes up a chunk of the story. But what was interesting about this film is you get to see Carter Wong and Angela Mao, once again, one of Hong Kong's best duos at the time, a team. These two always played in films together, and it was a good pairing. I remember one of their films, I do believe it's still a Golden Harvest production, but it was like made on the independent circuit, so maybe Raymond Chow, he lent them out, but it was called The Deadly China Doll. And that was like one of the first films to star these two together. And even in that film, Carter and Angela threw down in there. It's also known as the Opium Trail. And I thought I did a review on that, but if I didn't, I can do a review on the Opium Trail. But it shows these two early. I think that film is like 1972 or 73. And they're throwing down in there a great deal. So these two, they are classic duos from the early 70s. I mean, just like Tai Lung and David Chang were teamed up in films, and the two of them didn't like each other, believe it or not. Tai Lung and David Chang, they are not, they were not buddies, but they played together off of one another very well. Sometimes that's how it is. It's like on-screen chemistry could be wonderful, but in real life, people are opposing. And that's probably the acting that they do, that they go to a place that they wouldn't go to in regular life because they despise one another. I don't think that was the case with Carter and Angela. They were very good together. And oftentimes they'd be playing co-students or two that come together for a cause and things of that nature. But they always worked well and worked good under Sammo's choreography. Soul Power says, I wonder if this is on Tubi. I'm not sure if it's on Tubi or Freevee, but it should be out there. Just punch it in, go to your search engine on your, where you have the Fire Stick or whatever, Amazon, and try to get it. But I'll tell you, it's entertaining. It's still top quality. It's been remastered recently on Blu-ray, and I have the Blu-ray of it, and it looks great. I mean, I love how they're remastering a lot of these old school Kung Fu films now, and they look so good. It's like my VHSs of these films and some of the VHS transfers to DVD, they look old and washed out. The color doesn't look good, look kind of grainy and stuff, faded. But as a Blu-ray, oh my goodness. It's like night and day. looking at the films. And as you see the image on this photo that I have on the screen here, that's kind of how the Blu-ray looks. It looks like that. So very good quality. Soul Power says, Sensei, will you be attending the family reunion here in Atlanta? No, I can't attend, bro. I got a lot going on economically and I can't travel at this time, man. I would love to be there though. And it's like, it's just all about timing. It's like my finances are not, you know, if I had some more subs and everything, and, you know, if I was around that 10, 12,000 like I should be, that means that this that I do here could, you know, kind of give me that type of boost that I need. But, you know, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I ain't got it like that. I can't travel like that at this time. That's why you always hear me saying I got to get up and get ready for work, because that's what Stormy B Man do. He works every day. And it's tough. I live in Chicago. Taxes is high. Taxes be hitting us like Mike Tyson. And you know what I'm saying? And dude, I'm just saying. But I go to work, man. I go to work. But I would love to be there. I really would. I would love to be there and talk about everybody in front of their face, because they might think, oh, Stormy is like that on the air. You find out when you see me in real person, I be talking stuff in person too, huh? And I know how to move out of the way when you try to throw them shots, huh? I'm a master of that. I taught people how to throw the shots, and Stormy know how to throw a few too. Yeah. But hey, man, hopefully, you know, I get beyond these economic situations. I can get out there and travel and be amongst the people, because, hey, I'm ready to meet a lot of the folks as well. You know, you got some good people out there doing some good things, positive things, and I want to be a part of that, being in person. I want to, you know what I mean? And some of them, they claim they can cook and everything, and Stormy will be the judge of that, because I like to eat, you know what I'm saying? And if you can't cook and you've been boasting and all that, and I taste something and I go that, you getting a bad review, huh? Dining dish gonna be a F+ for you, huh? If you out there and can't do what you said you could do with them pots and pans. And that's for the brothers and the sisters, because you got some brothers out there that's been boasting that they could cook and everything, but they can't. You know what I'm saying? And I know, huh? You're talking all that mess. You're talking about, oh yeah, man, I make a great this and that. And Stormy eating it and got the bottle of Pepto-Bismol running to the toilet. No, we ain't doing that, huh? We ain't. Here we got, oh, look at that. We got Boxiana in the building. Arisali Diminis. What's happening with you? She says, hey, Stormy, what's going on with you? You guys, you know, you and Nick J, man, y'all be cooking over there, sister. Sometimes I just be sitting back in the cut watching y'all. I really like what y'all do. And just know that Stormy support y'all 1,000%, because y'all be killing it. And I love how you talk about stuff that some of these other knuckleheads, they too scared to talk about it. And y'all just be cutting them down. I love it. Keep on doing your thing. Keep on. That's what I say. Yeah. Soul Power says, lucky for me, the meet and greet is 40 miles away from my home. See, now if it was close like that, like I could drive to 78, because he's only 78 is only probably about an hour, 2-hour drive from me, something like that. About a 2-hour drive from me, Milwaukee. So, you know, I can get to him, but yeah, I can't travel down there right now. It's just like I'm in a little pickle there, but I would love to be there. And of course, I'd like to see, you know, Boxiana and Nick J in real life too, huh? Yeah. Yeah, and I can tell when it's special effects. Hey, y'all ain't got special effects. That's the real deal. But yeah, y'all gonna get together and have some great fun. I want to meet Black Fight Fan and CC, man. BFTB. I want to see BFTB and give my brother a big old hug, because BFTB out here, man. That brother, he puts a lot of energy in what he does, man. You guys continue to support BFTB, because that brother be putting some energy out. He really does. He really does. Yeah. So I want to meet everybody, man. I want to meet everybody. Huh? Yeah. And so Power says, those are some beautiful sisters. Yes, sir. King Corleone in the building. What's happening with you, man? And Baxiana said, you cutting up. Hey, listen, I'm always, this is me. This is who I am. You know what I mean? I don't just know boxing. I know Kung Fu too. So if you fancy a little Kung Fu, come on by here, Baxiana, and listen to Stormy B Man when he doing this Kung Fu Film Focus. Because I get the reviews of these movies and I break it down. Tonight, talking about Angela Mao, her film The Tournament from 1974. You know Angela Mao, she played Bruce Lee's sister in Enter the Dragon. Yeah. But man, let me tell you. I'm like Yoda when it comes to the Kung Fu films. Huh? I can use the Force and tell y'all all about it. Yeah. Yeah. But hey, man, this is one of her, it's one of the least known films. I actually didn't see this film until like sometime in the 80s, because with all the films that I had seen, what didn't make it over here, when I saw this, I saw it on VHS, and I was like, The Tournament, I never seen that film. So I started looking for it, and this video store that used to be in Chicago, it's called 79th Street Video. They used to have everything, right? And I went in there and talked to the guy, Russ, who used to have that store. I said, Russ, you got The Tournament? Angela Mao. He looked up in his computer. He was like, yeah, we got that. And the VHS, the cover of it was this poster here. I took that sucker home, rented it, because I used to rent like 3 or 4 of his Kung Fu movies, ones I didn't see at the theater, or if I just wanted to see them again. He let you keep them like three days or something like that, and you bring them back. Man, that was the days. Back in the early 80s. Universal, what's happening with you, bro? I see you out there. King Corleone says, they are even more gorgeous in person. Yeah, man. Yeah. And Stormy got glasses, I'd be like, put my glasses on, be like, is that you? Is that you, right? Hey, Baxiana, you remember when I asked Nick J on her birthday, I said, hey, would you take some candy from a dirty old man? And she was like, yeah. I was like, oops, let me see. I was doing that Homer Simpson, dipping back into the bushes like, yeah, man. Soul Power says, remember those old videos? They would have the adult section with the curtains put up. Man, listen, I wish we never got away. Not for the adult section, because I ain't no perv like that. But back in those days when we had the video stores, I used to go to the stores that had the biggest Kung Fu film selection. That's what I always look for. When I go in there, I say, hey, man, you got Kung Fu movies? The guy be like, yeah, they over there. I go over there. Some places had like one rack of stuff. Then some stores had a couple of aisles of them. But my man Russ, 79th Street Video, damn near his whole store was kung fu movies, plus the regular movies too. And then he had a back room in the back with the curtain, and those was where his adult movies were. And I'm like, man, I ain't going back there. There's some weirdos back there, bro. It's like, and he had like the cameras, you know, he could see you back there. I'm like, man, I ain't going back there. No. And he used to have this thing where when the movies came out, he'd get them like, say like release day is Tuesday the 25th, right? He'll get them like 2 weeks before on a Thursday, right? And then he'll be like, don't tell nobody, you know, and he'd be letting you rent them and stuff. If you wanted to buy them, he'd let you buy them. I'm like, Russ was cool as hell, man. He was cool as hell. He used to have that store. It was running for a long time. At first, he was in one building on 79th Street. That's why it was called 79th Street Video. Then he moved up the block on, what's that, Western? A couple blocks down, he moved and had a little smaller location. But that guy used to have, and then he used to have some people that worked in there that, you know, knew the movies and stuff. But I think some people just got close to him and I don't know, some funny stuff, but he was a great part of my life for a long time with his business there, man. So Power says, yeah, those freaky nasty dudes coming in there on lunch break. Man. Yeah, those were the days though, man. The video stores. I remember I used to want to have my own video store. And I was thinking like I would just have kung fu movies, you know. And somebody be like, man, ain't nobody just gonna. But you guys don't have no idea how popular kung fu films were. Especially when it was something that nobody seen before. There's a whole generation of people out there that love those films, man. They love them. So, But yeah, if you guys check, you could probably catch the tournament. It's probably out there on one of those stations, Freebie, Tubi, something like that. There's a few of them out there, right? Those apps that show the films. Yeah. Trying to see, I got my little setup here. But yeah, Shogun says, man, I miss the video stores, the real video stores. I'm not talking about no Blockbuster. Yeah, the mom and pop stores, right? Shogun, the mom and pop stores were the best, bro. They were the best. There was this guy, this Asian guy. He had a video store in my neighborhood. It was called Dragon Video. He had the second biggest selection of kung fu films, and he would see me come in there And then sometimes he'll see me rent the same title, right? He'd be like, oh, this one again, huh? I was like, yeah, man. But he even sold me a couple of copies. He was like, look, you want this movie? He was really cool, that old guy. I miss that era, man. You know, when I saw the movie Captain Marvel, the Marvel film, remember at the beginning of that film when she fell into the Blockbuster Video, she crashed into coming in from outer space, she crashed into the Blockbuster Video, and she was walking around in there and she was looking at the different movies and stuff she was like looking at, and just seeing her in a Blockbuster Video, it took me back, because they've been gone for so long. Shit, Blockbuster's been out of business, what, almost 35 years? Something like that? Yeah. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, let's hear from a word from our sponsor here, I usually play my sponsor early, but I figured I'd play him a little bit later today because I just wanted to jump into the topic of the show. But let's hear from the sponsor.
We offer the best grooming colors for you. Just so natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be a swagger, style, class, and luxury. Make our products tailor-made for you with high quality, yeah. So get in style with the black, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, in luxury, yeah. Black, gentleman, black, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, in luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yeah. Hey, what's good, Queen 71? Yeah, she says, dang, has it been 35 years? It sure has. It sure has, Queen. Yep. Because it's been that long. It's been that long. It's like, dang. You know what I notice about getting older? It's like, time has different intervals for you. When you're younger, 5 years and 10 years seem like a longer frame of time. But as you get older, you compress time, and it's like, you think something was like 3 to 5 years ago, and it's actually like 10 to 15 years ago. It's like, that's kind of weird to me. I don't know, some of you who may be a little older, because I know I'm probably like the senior dude around here right now talking about this on this show, but it's like the increments of time it seems shorter, but it's longer. It's weird. Cause like I was like talking to somebody the other day about how long I've been on my job, and I was like, shit, I should be retired. It's like that. It's like, it's like, man, oh boy. Queen says they had a good run. Yeah, they did. But those mom and pop video stores, I gave them my money. I didn't go to Blockbuster very much, even though I had a Blockbuster card. And you know what's funny? Remember we used to get the little cards for the video store? You have to show your card, and you tell the guy, I lost my card. You have to get a new one, fill out that thing, and then they print out a new one for you. And sometimes they put it in a laminate machine or something. Man, back then, Queen says, I was there for the beginning and the end of Blockbuster. Yeah. Listen, I'm not ashamed to say that my first 2 VHS tapes of Bruce Lee movies that I bought. I spent like $60 for them. They were expensive as hell. The Big Boss and Fist of Fury. I still have them too in my collection. I got a collection of VHSs that I'm never getting rid of. I downsized quite a few of my VHSs, but I got a selection of my VHSs. I kept VHS player, rewinding machine, because it's like that takes less strain on your player. But yeah, all that stuff. I kept all of that stuff, man. Yeah. So that's what's up. But yeah, we're going to get ready to close things down. I got my my man, the Focus Ball. Want to hear from the Focus Ball.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improve footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit. Making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah, better get you some of that Stormy B-Man merchandise. I don't know what you're waiting on, huh? Because it ain't gonna be around forever like Blockbuster wasn't around forever. So you got to get you something in memory of being a part of the Storm Trackers. Yeah, that's what you got to do. But yeah, we've come to the end of another Kung Fu Film Focus. Man, that hour goes by so fast. But I'm just trying to bring a little bit of a break in between here and there, the sport of boxing, where we could talk about something outside of that. And my beloved love for the Kung Fu film allows me to do just that. So I want to say thank you everyone that showed up. It was great to see Boxiana come out there in Queen 71. It's always great to see the ladies come out and support. I really appreciate you all and your presence here. And I hope that you enjoyed the show, because my knowledge of these films, the people who produce and participate, act, carry out the action scenes and whatnot, is very vast. And I enjoy it. I enjoy sharing that knowledge with you guys. So with that being said, I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace. You guys have a great weekend. Yeah. 4-ounce sniper. Yeah. I'm live tomorrow, the Friday night chop session. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So peace to you all. Take it easy.